Welcome to a world where every single movement is a masterpiece, and every beat is the pulse of millions of hearts worldwide. We have all seen them dominate the global stage, from the Grammys to sold-out stadiums across every continent. But have you ever truly paused to wonder how that breathtaking magic actually begins in the silence of a practice room? It is not just about the final polished product we see under the neon lights. It is about the grueling hours, the sweat, soaked shirts, and the mental marathon of memorizing complex, high-intensity movements that often look humanly impossible. Today, we are peeling back the layers of the global phenomenon known as BTS to explore the raw mechanics of their artistry. But we aren't just looking at their fame or their chart-topping hits. We are diving deep into their growth through the eyes of the man who molded them from the very beginning, the legendary performance director and choreographer, Mr. Son Sung-deuk. He is the witness to their evolution, the one who saw the tears, the exhaustion, and the sheer genius of 7 unique individuals. In a group where synchronization is treated like a sacred religion, who actually stands at the pinnacle of learning speed? Who is the member that can look at a complex sequence just once and mirror it perfectly while others are still trying to figure out the basic footwork? Is it the one you expect, the natural-born dancer who lives and breathes rhythm? Or is it someone who possesses a hidden analytical mind that deciphers movement like a complex digital code? We are diving into the archives of the big hit dance studio to rank the members based on how quickly they master choreography. Can you guess who takes the ultimate crown? Is the golden matinee as fast as the legends say, or does a member of the young line surprise everyone with a photographic memory for motion? Prepare yourself for an emotional and intense journey through rhythm, discipline, and the untold stories of how these icons conquer the impossible. Are you ready to discover the true learning machine of Bangtan? Let's unlock the vault of secrets and find out right now. Number 7. Jin, the silent architect of perseverance, transforming struggle into masterpiece. In the glittering galaxy of Kpop, where perfection is the baseline and every movement is scrutinized by millions, there exists a story of raw, unfiltered grit that often goes unnoticed behind a handsome face and a charming worldwide handsome smile. When we talk about the speed of mastering choreography, we have to start with the foundation of the group, and that brings us to the eldest member, Kim Sok-jin. To understand his journey, we have to look through the eyes of Son Sung-deuk, the man who has been there since the beginning, back when the dance studio was just a cramped basement filled with the scent of sweat and big dreams. According to Son, in the early days, Jin was the member who faced the steepest mountain to climb. You see, Jin didn't enter Big Hit with a background in street dance or contemporary ballet. He was an aspiring actor, a student of the arts who suddenly found himself thrown into a world of sharp angles, explosive power, and rhythmic complexity that would make even seasoned pros dizzy. Son Sung-deuk has often reflected on how Jin's learning process was inherently different from the natural-born dancers. While some members could catch a groove in an instant, Jin had to dismantle every single move into its smallest, most basic components. It wasn't just about moving his arms or legs, it was about rewiring his entire brain to understand the language of dance. Imagine the mental exhaustion of trying to sync your heart rate to a beat that feels foreign to your soul, yet you refuse to let your brothers down. This is where the emotional weight of the story truly settles in. Son Sung-deuk witnessed Jin staying behind in that practice room long after the lights had dimmed for everyone else. He wasn't just doing it for the cameras or for a reality show, he was doing it because he knew he was the anchor that needed to hold steady. In those silent hours, Jin would repeat a single step, hundreds, maybe thousands of times. His reflection in the mirror, his only witness to the frustration that must have been bubbling beneath the surface. Son Sung-deuk once noted that while Jin might have been the slowest to initially grasp the vibe or the flow of a new routine, his dedication made him a marvel of consistency. He wouldn't just learn the move, he would architect it. He built his performance brick by brick, ensuring that by the time they hit the stage, his movements were so deeply ingrained in his muscle memory that they became second nature. Think back to the era of No More Dream or We Are Bulletproof Teen 2. The choreography was aggressive, raw, and required a level of physical stamina that was punishing. Jin had to push his body past its perceived limits just to keep up with the natural-born dance line. But the true beauty, the real Edu-Tainment value here, is seeing the evolution. Son Sung-deuk has praised Jin's growth more than almost anyone else's because the transformation is so visible. By the time Blood, Sweat, and Tears and DNA rolled around, Jin wasn't just a member who could dance. He was a performer who commanded attention with his grace. The choreographer noticed that Jin started to develop a unique sense of timing, a way of marking his steps that allowed him to never miss a beat in those complex formations. There is a profound lesson in Jin's ranking here at number 7. It's not a mark of lack of talent, but rather a testament to the fact that speed isn't everything. The depth of the work matters just as much. Son Sung-deuk often uses Jin as the prime example for younger trainees, showing them that even if you aren't the fastest learner in the room, your tenacity can carry you to the same global stage. Jin's journey is a documentary in motion, a narrative of a man who fought his own physical limitations every single day. Can you imagine the pressure of standing in the back, knowing you have to catch up, and then actually doing it until you're standing in the center of a stadium like Wembley or Rose Bowl? Son Sung-deuk's observations reveal a Jin who is methodical, analytical, and incredibly brave. He doesn't hide his struggle, he embraces it as part of his craft. This is the man who turned "I can't" into "I will," and then into "I did." As we look at his place in this ranking, we see a bridge between the world of acting and the world of performance, built through sheer, unadulterated willpower. Every time you see him nail a difficult transition in Black Swan or On, remember that behind that seamless execution are the echoes of Son Sung-deuk's voice, coaching a young man who refused to quit. It's a reflective journey that proves that while the fastest might get there first, the strongest is the one who refuses to stop moving until the masterpiece is complete. Doesn't that make you wonder how the next member on our list handled the same pressure, perhaps with a completely different mental approach? Who is the one that uses intellect over instinct to conquer the stage? The story only gets more intense from here. Number 6. RM, the intellectual giant decoding the DNA of movement, from rhythm rebel to stage commander. If there is one story in the history of BTS that perfectly encapsulates the triumph of the mind over the physical body, it is the legendary evolution of the group's leader, Kim Namjoon. To talk about RM's ranking and the speed of mastering choreography is to talk about a man who was never supposed to be a dancer in the traditional sense. When Son Sung-deuk first encountered the young underground rapper known as Runch Randa, he wasn't looking at a future dance icon. He was looking at a poet with a pen, a philosopher with a microphone, and a young man who jokingly referred to himself as having 2 left feet. In the high-octane world of K-pop, where performance is often equated with natural athleticism, RM's journey is a profound documentary of intellectual willpower. Son Sung-deuk has often reflected on the unique challenge RM faced. His height and long limbs, while commanding on stage, made the rapid-fire, intricate footwork of early Bangtan choreography a literal physical puzzle. Imagine being nearly 6 feet tall and trying to compress your body into the sharp, jagged, and lightning-fast transitions of a song like "We Are Bulletproof PT." 2. Son Sung-deuk observed that while other members might feel the rhythm in their bones, RM had to see the rhythm in his mind first. He didn't just learn a dance, he decoded it. He treated every choreography session like a complex mathematical equation or a high-stakes strategy game. For RM, a step wasn't just a movement, it was a coordinate in time and space that had to be calculated with precision. This is the Edu-Tainment core of his story. The fascinating insight into how a high IQ individual processes physical art. Son Sung-deuk noticed that RM would often stand slightly back, his brow furrowed in deep concentration, not because he was lost, but because he was mapping out the entire formation in his head. He needed to understand the why behind the how. Why does this arm move at a 45-degree angle? How does this transition affect the person standing behind me? This analytical approach, while slightly slower than the instinctive dancers at the start of a practice session, meant that once RM clicked with a routine, he became an immovable force of nature. There was a raw, gritty era, the danger and I need you days, where the choreography became more expressive and nuanced. This was a turning point. Son Sung-deuk saw RM's struggle transform into a specialized kind of power. He wasn't just following steps, he was leading a revolution. The choreographer often praised RM for his robotic precision in the best sense of the word. Once he locked in the movement, he never deviated. He became the standard. If RM was in the right spot, the whole formation held together. Think about the sheer mental load RM carries as a leader translating for the group, writing lyrics, producing tracks, and then add the pressure of mastering some of the most difficult choreography in the world. Son Sung-deuk has witnessed RM's quiet moments of frustration, the times he would laugh off a mistake to keep the mood light, only to see him practicing the same transition in the corner of his eye for an hour straight. There's an emotional weight to seeing a man who is a genius with words struggle to make his body speak the same language. But look at him now. Look at the Idol or Black Swan eras. Son Sung-deuk's guidance helped RM find his own groove, a style that isn't about mimicking others, but about utilizing his stature and presence to dominate the stage. The speed at which he learns now has increased exponentially compared to a decade ago, but he remains at number 6 because his process is still one of deep, thoughtful construction. He is the bridge between the conceptual and the physical. He proves that you don't need to be born a dancer to become a master of the stage. You just need the heart to keep trying and the mind to find a way where others see a wall. Son Sung-deuk once said that RM's growth is one of the most rewarding things to witness as a teacher because it wasn't fueled by natural talent alone, it was fueled by an obsession with excellence. When you watch RM perform today, you aren't just seeing a dancer, you are seeing years of decoding come to life in a display of sheer charisma and hard-earned skill. He is the silent architect of the group's synchronization, the one who ensures that the message of the song is carried through every gesture. It's a reflective, inspiring narrative that asks us, what could we achieve if we applied that same level of decoding to our own lives? RM's journey at number 6 is a powerful reminder that the speed of learning is often dictated by the depth of understanding. But as we move up this list, the lines between thinking and feeling begin to blur. Who is the member that bridges that gap? Who is the one who learns with a mix of sharp logic and sudden, explosive instinct? The ranking is about to get even more competitive, and the next name on our list might just change everything you thought you knew about the dance line. Number 5, Suga, the reluctant prodigy mastering the beat with cold precision and underground grit. If you ever find yourself watching a BTS dance practice video, your eyes might naturally gravitate toward the explosive energy of the center, but if you look closely at the man standing with a cool, almost detached composure, you are witnessing one of the most fascinating psychological studies in the world of performance. We are talking about Min Yoon-gi, the man known to the world as Suga, and his placement at number 5 is a revelation that shatters the lazy persona he often jokingly adopts. To understand why Son Sung-deuk ranks him here, we have to travel back in time, long before the sold-out stadiums and the luxury brand deals, to the gritty, asphalt-covered streets of Daegu. Most people know Suga as a genius producer and a razor-sharp rapper, but what many forget is that Yoon-gi was an underground boy long before he ever stepped foot into the big-hit training halls. He lived and breathed hip-hop culture, where dance wasn't just a choreographed routine, but a form of survival and self-expression. Son Sung-deuk has often pointed out a hidden truth about Suga. He possesses an innate sense of rhythm that is almost biological. While other members might struggle to find the pocket of a beat, Suga is already there, waiting. He doesn't just hear the music, he feels the vibration of the bass in his very marrow. The Edu-Tainment factor here is truly mind-blowing when you realize that Suga's brain operates like a high-end music production software even when he is moving his body. Son Sung-deuk has noted that because Suga produces music, he understands the architecture of a song. He knows exactly where the snare hits, where the synth swells, and where the silence needs to breathe. This gives him a massive shortcut in learning choreography. He doesn't just memorize steps, he aligns his limbs with the literal waveform of the track. Imagine the scene in the practice room. The music starts. A complex, high-speed sequence is demonstrated by Son Sung-deuk. And while everyone is sweating through their shirts, Suga is standing there, cap pulled low, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. But don't let that fool you. Behind those cat-like eyes, he is calculating the physics of the movement. Son Sung-deuk once remarked that Suga is incredibly efficient. He is the king of minimal effort, maximum impact. He won't waste a single calorie on an unnecessary movement, but every gesture he does make is sharp, intentional, and perfectly timed. This efficiency is why he climbs to number 5. He can master a routine significantly faster than the struggling line because he has a pre-existing foundation of street dance and a producer's ear. However, the emotional narrative of Suga's dance journey is one of immense physical and mental resilience. For years, he carried the secret burden of a devastating shoulder injury from a pre-debut accident, a pain he hid from the world so he wouldn't be a burden to the group's performance. Son Sung-deuk witnessed this silent struggle firsthand. imagine the sheer willpower it takes to execute the high-flying, arm-swinging choreography of Fire or the aggressive, bone-rattling movements of Not Today, while your shoulder feels like it's being pierced by hot needles. Every time Son Sung-deuk pushed the group for more power, Suga delivered, despite the internal scream of his nerves. This adds a layer of deep, reflective respect to his ranking. He isn't just fast at learning, he is brave in his execution. Son Sung-deuk has praised how Suga's style has evolved from the raw, unpolished boying of his youth to a sophisticated, swagger-heavy stage presence that defines the BTS sound in motion. Think about the iconic 3:33 mark in the Fire choreography. That explosive energy wasn't just luck, it was the result of a man who knows exactly when to unleash the beast. The choreographer often highlights Suga as the member who brings the flavor to the performance. He might not have the contemporary fluidity of Jimin or the technical precision of J-Hope, but he has an authenticity that can't be taught. He dances like a rapper with a certain heavy-footed, grounded confidence that gives the group's performance its hip-hop soul. Son Sung-deuk has often used Suga as a benchmark for feeling the groove. If Suga is feeling it, the whole room starts to vibrate. The mystery of his speed lies in his mental marking. He can watch a routine twice and have the skeletal structure of it down. While he might complain and say he wants to be a stone in his next life, the moment the red recording light goes on, or the moment the stage floor rises, he transforms. He is a professional of the highest order. Son Sung-deuk's observations reveal a man who is a master of his own body's limits, someone who knows how to conserve energy during a 12-hour rehearsal so he can explode with 200% power during the actual show. This level of strategic dancing is rare. It's not just about moving fast, it's about moving smart. And that, dear viewers, is why Min Yoon-gi is the efficient genius of the dance floor. He proves that being a fast learner isn't just about having quick reflexes, it's about having the intelligence to see the pattern in the chaos. As we reflect on his journey from the Daegu underground to the center of the world's biggest boy band, we see a man who conquered his pain and his own reluctance to become a pillar of BTS's performance legacy. But if Suga is only number 5, can you even begin to imagine the level of sheer, unadulterated talent that occupies the top 4? We are entering the territory of the natural wonders, the members who don't just learn the dance, they become the dance. Who is the member that can learn a 4-minute routine in a matter of hours and make it look like they've been doing it since birth? The tension is rising, the stakes are getting higher, and the next name on our list is going to leave you absolutely breathless. Are you ready to see who breaks into the elite circle? Number 4. V, the soulful chameleon, transforming movement into pure emotion with incredible instinct. When you look into the eyes of Kim Taehyung, you aren't just looking at one of the most handsome faces in the world. You are looking at a deep, swirling vortex of artistic intuition that defies the conventional laws of K-pop training. If our previous rankings focused on the struggle of the body or the calculations of the mind, number 4 brings us into the realm of pure, unadulterated feeling. To understand V's lightning-fast speed in mastering choreography, we have to look at the specific feedback from Son Sung-deuk, who is often labeled V as a genius of a very particular kind. You see, while some members need to hear the counts 1, 2, 3, 4, V is a visual and sensory sponge. Son Sung-deuk has shared stories of how V can stand in a corner, seemingly distracted or lost in his own world, but in reality, his eyes are locked onto the choreographer's every micro-expression and subtle weight shift. He doesn't just memorize where the hand goes, he memorizes the soul of the movement. This is what makes his learning speed so terrifyingly efficient. During the DNA and Love Yourself era, a massive shift occurred in the BTS hierarchy of dance. V was officially recognized as part of the dance line, and Son Sung-deuk was the primary architect of this promotion. Why? Because V had developed a way to learn complex routines in a fraction of the time it took him during their debut days. Imagine the Edu-Tainment value of watching a man who treats a dance floor like a theatrical stage. Son Sung-deuk noticed that V doesn't just learn steps, he learns characters. If a dance is aggressive, he becomes a warrior. If it's smooth like Singularity, he becomes the personification of a shadow. The choreographer once recounted how V mastered the famous coat rack dance in Singularity, a routine so intricate and counterintuitive that it would take most professional dancers days to perfect the muscle. Memory. V, however, absorbed the vibe almost instantly. He has this uncanny ability to mirror Son Sung-deuk's own vibe so accurately that it sometimes feels like he's a reflection in a mirror rather than a separate person. There's an emotional weight to V's journey at number 4 because for a long time, he was the hidden member, the one people didn't expect to be a powerhouse performer. But Son Sung-deuk saw the fire. He saw a young man who would take a single piece of advice. Taehyung, make it look more greasy here or make it sharper there, and immediately translate those abstract emotional cues into physical reality. This is a level of mastery speed that goes beyond counting beats. It's about the connection between the eyes, the heart, and the limbs. When BTS was preparing for the On choreography, perhaps their most physically demanding and complex routine to date, Son Sung-deuk was amazed at how V held his own alongside the main dancers. V's learning process is reflective of his personality. It's non-linear, it's artistic, and it's incredibly fast because he doesn't fight the music. He lets the music dictate his body. Son Sung-deuk has often praised V's stage presence, but he clarifies that this presence starts in the practice room. V is the member who will ask, "What is the story behind this move?" And once he understands the story, the choreography is already finished in his mind. This storytelling speed is why he sits comfortably at number 4. He is the bridge between the technical masters and the emotional performers. Think about the detail in his fingers during Black Swan, or the way he handles the transitions in Butter. These aren't just practice moves, they are fast, learned instincts. Son Sung-deuk's narrative of V is one of a sleeping giant who woke up and decided to conquer the world of dance through pure observation. He doesn't need to stay late every night like he used to. He now has the experience to download a routine into his system with a single look. There is a sense of mystery in how he does it. Is it photographic memory? Or is it just a deep spiritual connection to rhythm? Whatever it is, it has earned him the respect of one of the toughest choreographers in the industry. As we reflect on V's position, we see a man who proves that art isn't just about repetition, it's about perception. He sees the dance, he feels the dance, and suddenly, he is the dance. Son Sung-deuk's pride in V is palpable because V represents the artistic victory of BTS, a member who turned a perceived weakness into a signature, high-speed strength. But as incredible as V is, we are now crossing the threshold into the top 3. We are moving from the genius to the elites, the members who define the very DNA of BTS's world-class performance. Who could possibly be faster than a man who learns through his soul? Who are the 3 individuals that Son Sung-deuk considers the absolute fastest machines in the history of the group? The answers might surprise you, and the stories behind them are filled with even more sweat, passion, and legendary studio moments. Are you ready to enter the inner circle of the Bangtan dance gods? Number 3. Jimin, the fluid perfectionist, merging modern grace with hip-hop power. When we talk about Park Jimin, we aren't just talking about a dancer. We are talking about a phenomenon that forced even a seasoned veteran like Son Sung-deuk to rethink the very definition of learning speed. To understand Jimin's place at number 3, we have to travel back to the Busan High School of Arts, where a young Jimin was the top student in contemporary dance, a world of fluid lines, soft landings, and emotional storytelling through every fingertip. But when he arrived at the big hit practice rooms, he faced a brutal Edu-Tainment style reality check. The hip-hop world of BTS was about weight, sharp angles, and crunchy movements that felt completely foreign to his classically trained body. Son Sung-deuk has often reflected on this fascinating clash of worlds, noting that Jimin's journey to becoming one of the fastest learners in the group was actually a battle against his own muscle memory. In the beginning, Jimin was almost too graceful, his movements too light for the Danger and No More Dream era, but this is where the mystery of his genius lies. Son Sung-deuk witnessed something extraordinary. Jimin possesses a physical intelligence that is almost terrifying. He doesn't just learn a routine, he absorbs the texture of the air around the choreographer. While other members are focusing on where their feet land, Jimin is already calculating the tension in his neck and the exact angle of his gaze to maximize the emotional impact. Son Sung-deuk has shared that once Jimin cracked the code of hip-hop, his learning speed accelerated to a level that left everyone breathless. He became a sponge for motion. In the practice room, the atmosphere changes when Jimin locks in. It's a reflective, silent intensity that Son Sung-deuk describes as seeing a masterpiece being painted in real time. The choreographer noted that by the time I Need You and Run came around, Jimin had developed a hybrid learning style, part analytical, part instinctive, that allowed him to master the skeletal structure of a 4-minute routine in a single afternoon. But what truly sets him at number 3 is his legendary, almost haunting level of perfectionism. Son Sung-deuk once recalled how Jimin would finish the group rehearsal having already learned the moves faster than almost anyone, and then stay behind until 3 or 4 a.m. just to fine-tune the speed of a single arm. Sweep by a fraction of a second. This is the raw, emotional heart of his story. A man who was once at risk of being cut from the group because his style didn't fit, but who used his contemporary background to create a new, high-speed language of dance that only he can speak. Son Sung-deuk has praised Jimin's ability to mark a dance, practicing at 50% energy, while still capturing 100% of the intended vibe, a skill that only elite-level learners possess. Think about the complexity of Black Swan, a dance that requires the fluidity of a swan and the precision of a soldier. Son Sung-deuk was amazed at how quickly Jimin bridged those two worlds, becoming the focal point of the routine almost instantly. The choreographer has often used Jimin as an example of efficiency through obsession. If you watch the blood, sweat, and tears practice, you see a man who isn't just following a script, he is rewriting it with his body. His speed comes from his deep understanding of center of gravity. Because he knows how to balance his weight from years of ballet and contemporary training, he can transition between complex formations faster than anyone else in the group, often teleporting to his next spot while the camera is still catching up. There's a profound, documentary-style weight to seeing Jimin's growth from a struggling trainee to the man Son Sung-deuk calls the soul of the performance. He is the member who will watch Son Sung-deuk do a move once, and before the music even starts, he is already whispering to himself, "Okay, the weight is on the left heel, the chest is open, the fingers are trailing." He is a visual scanner, a motion capture machine in human form. This reflective journey from Busan to the global stage is fueled by a desperate, beautiful need to be the best, and Son Sung-deuk has admitted that Jimin's presence in the top 3 is undisputed because he doesn't just learn the what, he masters the why at lightning speed. Every time you see that iconic 333 explosion or the delicate, high-speed footwork in DNA, you are seeing the result of a man who decided to conquer his own grace to become a weapon of precision. Jimin's number 3 spot is a testament to the fact that when talent meets an obsessive work ethic, fast becomes legendary. He is the precision poet of BTS, a man whose speed is hidden behind the beauty of his execution. But as we stand here at the bronze medal position, the air in the room is getting thinner. We are moving toward the final 2, the unstoppables. If Jimin is the precision poet, who could possibly be faster? Who are the 2 members who Son Sung-deuk describes as natural-born machines who can learn a routine before the first chorus is even finished playing? One is the golden prodigy who seems to have no limits, and the other is the captain who leads the entire army of dance with a single look. The gap between number 3 and number 2 is razor thin, and the story of the next member will reveal a level of talent that feels almost like a superpower. Are you ready to see who takes the silver and who is the ultimate king of the dance floor? Number 2, Jungkook, the golden copy-paste machine unleashing the power of instant mastery. When we step into the legendary practice rooms of HYBE, formerly the modest studios of Big Hit, we are stepping into the sanctuary where the golden maknae was forged. To understand why Jungkook sits at the prestigious number 2 spot on Son Sung-deuk's list of the fastest learners, we have to look past the global pop star and see the 15-year-old boy who arrived in Seoul with nothing but a heart full of dreams and a body that seemed to be built by the gods of rhythm themselves. Son Sung-deuk has often spoken about Jungkook with a mixture of awe and professional pride, famously coining the term copy-paste to describe the way the youngest member processes movement. In the high-stakes documentary of BTS's rise, there is a pivotal chapter that every fan and student of performance needs to know: the 2012 trip to Los Angeles. Son Sung-deuk took a young, shy Jungkook to the United States to train at world-renowned dance studios like Movement Lifestyle. It was there, amidst the elite street dancers of California, that the learning machine was truly activated. Son Sung-deuk witnessed a transformation that was almost supernatural. Jungkook didn't just learn the steps, he inhaled the culture, the weight, and the swag of American urban dance. When they returned to Korea, the choreographer noted that Jungkook's speed of acquisition had reached a level that was, frankly, terrifying. Imagine being the teacher and realizing that your student can mirror your every micro movement down to the specific tension in your fingertips or the slight tilt of your head after seeing it only once. This is the Edu-Tainment core of Jungkook's genius. He possesses a rare form of visual motor integration that allows his brain to skip the thinking phase and go straight to execution. While other members might need to break down a sequence into counts of 8, Son Sung-deuk has observed that Jungkook looks at a dance as a singular, flowing image. He downloads the entire visual frame into his muscle memory instantaneously. This is why, in the ON or Black Swan era, when the choreography became exponentially more complex, Jungkook was often the first to have the entire routine in his body. Son Sung-deuk has shared that during the preparation for the Dynamite and Butter performances, which required a very specific retro-pop groove, Jungkook didn't just hit the beats. Dia captured the feeling of the era instantly, allowing the group to build the formation around his rock-solid foundation. The emotional weight of this ranking is found in the immense pressure placed on the center. Being the fastest learner isn't just a talent, it's a responsibility. Son Sung-deuk knew that if Jungkook mastered the move first, he could act as a visual anchor for the rest of the group. The choreographer has often reflected on how Jungkook's presence in the practice room raises the frames per second of the entire team. There is a silent, intense bond between the teacher and the protege. Son Sung-deuk once mentioned that he sometimes forgets how young Jungkook is because his professional speed is that of a 20-year veteran. But don't be fooled into thinking this is just natural talent. Behind the copy-paste legend is a boy who spent his adolescence staring into dance studio mirrors until his eyes burned. Son Sung-deuk has witnessed the sweat-soaked floors and the late-night sessions where Jungkook would refine a perfect move until it became superhuman. This is a reflective narrative of a boy who grew up in the shadow of his 6 older brothers, using his golden abilities to ensure he could always keep up, only to eventually find himself leading the charge. Son Sung-deuk's perspective reveals that Jungkook's speed is a blend of elite athleticism and a deep, intuitive psychological connection to music. He doesn't hear the snare, he becomes the snare. During the filming of Idol, a dance so punishing it has been known to make even world-class dancers gasp for air, Son Sung-deuk was amazed at how Jungkook could maintain the copy-paste precision even when his physical energy was at 1%. This level of mastery speed is what makes him the golden machine. He is the ultimate weapon in a choreographer's arsenal, a performer who can take the most abstract vision and turn it into reality in a heartbeat. Son Sung-deuk's pride in Jungkook is palpable, often calling him the standard of what an idol dancer should be. Every time you see that iconic, sharp transition in Blood, Sweat, and Tears or the powerful, ground-shaking footwork in Not Today, you are seeing the result of a man who can decode the most difficult puzzles of motion in seconds. Jungkook's number 2 spot is a testament to the power of a visual genius who refused to waste a single second of his youth. He is the bridge between the human and the divine on the dance floor, a man who turns the impossible into the instant. As we reflect on his journey from that shy boy in LA to the global titan of 7, we realize that his speed isn't just about moving fast, it's about the courage to absorb a new identity with every new song. But if the golden machine himself, the man who can copy any move perfectly, is only at number 2, your mind must be racing. Who could possibly be faster? Who is the one person in the entire BTS universe that Son Sung-deuk looks to not just as a student, but as a partner in dance? Who is the commander-in-chief of the floor, the one who learns so quickly that he often knows the move before the choreographer even finishes creating it? We are about to reveal the absolute king of the ranking, the member who is the heartbeat of BTS's synchronization. This is the moment you've been waiting for, and the story behind the number 1 spot is nothing short of legendary. Number 1. J-Hope, the supreme dance captain and the living pulse of Bangtan's rhythm, rewriting the laws of motion. At the very pinnacle of this legendary list, standing in a realm that feels almost untouchable, is the man whose name is synonymous with the very heartbeat of BTS's performance, Jungkook, known to the world as J-Hope. To understand why Son Sung-deuk, the architect of BTS's movement, places J-Hope at the absolute number 1 spot, we have to look far beyond the bright smiles and the I'm your hope persona. We have to enter the dark, neon-lit underground dance battles of Gwangju, where a young J-Hope, then known as part of the dance crew Neuron, was already a local legend before he even knew what an idol was. Son Sung-deuk has often spoken about J-Hope not just as a student, but as a peer, a partner in the grueling task of shaping 7 distinct individuals into a single, synchronized weapon of mass inspiration. The speed at which J-Hope masters choreography isn't just fast, it is instantaneous. While we marveled at Jungkook's copy-paste ability, J-Hope operates on a level of innate synthesis. This is the ultimate Edu-Tainment revelation. J-Hope doesn't just see the move and copy it. His brain calculates the physics, the emotional intent, and the spatial requirements of the entire group the moment the music starts. Son Sung-deuk has shared stories of how he would sometimes walk into the practice room with only a rough sketch of a routine, and J-Hope would catch the vibes so quickly that he would actually help Son finish the choreography. Imagine the sheer mental processing power required to not only learn your own complex footwork, but also keep a mental map of where 6 other people need to be at any given millisecond. This is why he is the dance captain. Son Sung-deuk has noted that during the mic drop or DNA eras, performances that redefined K-pop synchronization, J-Hope was the one who would master the routine in a matter of minutes and then spend the next 10 hours helping the others. There is a profound, reflective weight to this. J-Hope sacrifices his own rest to ensure the group's perfection. The choreographer once remarked that J-Hope is his right hand. If Son Sung-deuk is the visionary, J-Hope is the general on the ground. In those legendary sweat-soaked documentary clips of their rehearsals, you see a transformation in J-Hope's eyes. The playful Hobie vanishes, and teacher Hoseok emerges a man with a sharp, uncompromising eye for detail who can spot a misaligned finger or a slightly delayed shoulder turn from across the room. His learning speed is fueled by a photographic muscle memory that is rare even among world-class professionals. Son Sung-deuk witnessed how J-Hope handled the Boy Meets Evil solo, a routine so physically taxing and technically demanding that it required J-Hope to move with the fluidity of water and the sharpness of a pas apart blade, often while blindfolded or in high-tension positions. J-Hope didn't just learn it, he owned it within a single session, leaving the staff in stunned silence. The mystery of his speed lies in his deep roots in street dance because he mastered the language of dance through years of freestyle and battles. A choreographed routine feels like reading a simple sentence to him. He understands the grammar of movement. Son Sung-deuk has praised his ability to feel the pocket, that invisible space in the beat where the movement becomes magic. Think about the iconic Hope on the Street sessions. Those aren't just for show. They are the laboratory where he keeps his reflexes sharp. Every time BTS prepares for a comeback, the atmosphere in the room changes when J-Hope locks in. He is the standard. If J-Hope says a move is too slow, it's too slow. If he says it's perfect, it's a masterpiece. This emotional and professional burden is something Son Sung-deuk deeply respects. He has seen J-Hope push through exhaustion, hidden injuries, and the immense pressure of leading the world's biggest group, all while maintaining a learning speed that defies logic. When you watch the Butter dance break or the explosive finale of On at the Grand Central Terminal, you are seeing the culmination of J-Hope's instant mastery. He is the one who ensures that the BTS DNA remains flawless. Son Sung-deuk's narrative of J-Hope is one of a relentless perfectionist who uses his genius to lift everyone around him. He isn't number 1 just because he is the fastest. He is number 1 because he is the soul of the dance floor. He proves that true mastery isn't just about how quickly you can do something, but about how deeply you understand it and how generously you share that knowledge. J-Hope is the bridge between the rhythm and the heart, the commander who turned a group of 7 different spirits into a single, unstoppable force of nature. As we reflect on this ranking, from Jin's inspiring perseverance to J-Hope's divine instinct, we see the true secret of BTS's success. It's a spectrum of talent where everyone plays a vital role. But at the end of the day, when the music starts and the world is watching, it is J-Hope who leads the way, moving at the speed of light, ensuring that every beat is captured and every heart is moved. He is and will always be the undisputed king of the dance floor.